Good morning. Good to have you back with us on Morning Moments with Jesus today as we continue our series that we started on life and focus and just kind of trying to see what God has for us this upcoming year. And if you're like me, you have to be honest with the fact that it's going to take a tremendous amount of focus to stay fixed upon the task that God has for us in this upcoming year to accomplish all the things we want to accomplish personally, as individuals, and maybe collectively in your careers or in your family situation, maybe in your church family. There are always things that at the beginning of the year we desire to do, we plan, we try to pursue the best we can, but it never fails that there's always distractions, there's always things that try to come into our lives to try to deter us from doing those things. And in order to accomplish anything in our lives, the one main ingredient is to stay focused. That's why we're kind of tuning in this year on that theme, life and focus. Yesterday we began by talking about it's important to be honest about who you are and to not let the enemy rob you of who you are and not to condescend yourself into believing that you are not equipped for the task that God has for you. One thing we need to always make sure we understand is God knows who you are before He calls you to something, before He gives you that purpose. He knows your weaknesses and He knows your strengths. He knows how He made your personality, how He made all of those things. And so all we have to do is tune in to what He wants us to do, and He will always equip us to accomplish that task. So yesterday was all about being honest about who you are. Today is all about being honest about where you are, because where you are right now currently in your life is very important to getting to where you want to be. We go back to Psalm 139 this morning. I want to look at verses 23 and 24. Listen to what the psalmist says here. He says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. And see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." The psalmist here gets before the Lord and he says, Lord, I want to be honest with you, but I want you to be honest with me. And I know you will be, but the first thing I want you to do is I want you to search me. Maybe there's things in your life today that you don't see being a problem, but they are a problem. Maybe you've lived with them long enough and so long that now they're just a normal part of your life. But in actuality, if you get along with God, He may show you that that very thing that you don't see as a problem has always been a big problem with you getting to where He needs you to be and you desire to be in your life. He says, search me and know my heart. Know my heart. Know the thoughts that I have in my heart, know how I'm wired in my heart, but also try me to know my thoughts. So this morning, God wants me to ask our Morning Moments family a very simple question. What are your limitations? What is it that's holding you back or holding you in place that keeps you from pursuing those things or elevating your life or your career or anything that takes you to that next plateau, that next place that God wants you to be? What are your limitations? Are there any sin in your life that you need to take care of this morning before God? Is there any hang-ups or hurts, any bad habits that keep you restricted from where God wants you to be? That's a very honest question, and we all have to ask that question if we're ever going to get to where we want to be in our lives. The thing is that one simple truth that God always points out when you take a look at being honest about where you are is the fact that you will never get to where you want to be until you first know where you are. We have built into our phones and built into many of our cars a GPS system. When it comes to the spiritual world, I look at that as God's positioning system. He positions us in a place for a specific purpose. Now watch this. If you type in an address in your GPS to where you want to go, the first thing that GPS does is assess where you are, because it can never tell you how to get to where you want to go until it first assesses where you are. And that's what God wants you to do this morning. You want these mighty things in 2023. You want to accomplish a lot more. You want to do a lot more. You want to be a better person. That's good. But it all starts first by being honest about where you are today, this morning, during this devotion time. What are your limitations? What are your things that are holding you back? You've got to address those things first before you'll ever get to where you want to be. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me. It doesn't have to be a catastrophic sin, but it can be something that is not good for you, that is holding you back. And then he caps it off by saying, I want you to lead me to the way everlasting. I don't want to lead you, God, and I sure don't want to go without you. I want you to lead me to the next stage of my life. I pray and speak that over you this morning. I speak it over your individual life, over your family life, over your career, over your ministry, over every facet and part of your life. I speak God's blessing over it this morning. You be safe, you be strong, and you be blessed. And today, be honest about where you are at this moment. Lord's will, we'll see you back here again tomorrow. Until then, as always, I sure hope you have a great day.